Everyone knows you're not going to win every game, but it's what you learn from that game and what you can do better.
You know, I don't play the game for personal milestones, I play for team success.
The depth and talent that this squad have got is brilliant.
IPL तो ऐसी चीज़ है कि यहाँ कुछ भी हो सकता है.
स्टंप को लग के बेल गिरा ही नहीं था.
It was a heated moment in the middle of the game, and what that did was it sparked a royal collapse for the Rajasthan Royals.
The luck factor is so very crucial in T20 cricket. 90% of the matches have gone down to the wire and the last over.
You've got to get back up. We fight for another day.
When RR came out to bat, they looked mighty good. And you could see this intent with every player of the RR setup.
तो ये जो एक बॉन्ड है जो हम शेयर करते हैं वो बहुत स्पेशल है. आई थिंक ये और कहीं नहीं मिलेगा आपको देखने को.
And that's where we felt that, you know, somewhere Rajasthan Royals is peaking and coming back into their zone of not being underachievers but being an achievers team.
And I think that's what differentiates the Royals from pretty much any other team. It's a team that just keeps coming back from anywhere.
What other countries can't replicate is the passion of the Indian fans. Every other country loves the game of cricket, but it's not their passion. So the passion that is brought into the stadiums, the knowledge that the crowd understand about what's happening in the game of cricket, and just the noise. The noise. The underdog tag came, I suppose, it stuck from year one, where we were the least expensive franchise, we're the cheapest. I was the only non-Indian captain, and I was also the coach, so I was captain coach. We had a team of people that hardly played any first-class cricket, let alone experienced players. They were young, 17, 18, 19. No one had heard of them. We get hammered in the first game, and then we come back to win the tournament. So that story of underdog coming good helped grab the attention of the world, global public, because of the way the Royals won that first year.
Rajasthan Royals over the years have developed a very good process to prepare for the auction, and the players that we've got out of the auction this time, it's a really good balanced team, very happy with what our Zubin Barucha, the team director, and their team of analysts, what they've managed to produce.
Strategy of an auction or the complexity of an auction starts 6 months before the auction. We have a phenomenal technology hub based out of Chennai, and they actually log every single cricket match that is played anywhere in the world. So each player's data is tracked and performance is tracked over that period of time. But what we do leading up as well is we run auction simulations.
So 8 of us would sit around a room. Each of us had a team. We'd research what the gaps in the team were, how we needed to fill them, and then we'd literally run full 3-hour, 4-hour long auction simulations to help build up the sort of price range for each of the players.
So by the end of it, what we're hoping to achieve is a very accurate number of what we would pay for each player in the auction. We are not interested as much about what we pay an individual player, but we are interested in whether we're acquiring a particular skill. In the years that we've been doing auctioning, I think we've been maybe 85 to 90% of whoever we want we get.
We've got a lot of bases covered, a lot of exciting players, from new players in their first IPL to some seasoned campaigners. But for me, it's we've got the team. My focus really now is to work with what we've got and try and get the best out of the 25 players.
Thank you, you're far too kind.
We believe in actually the discipline of sport, and we believe in actually the healthy delivery of sport. While we all want to win, nobody wants to lose. I think if we play a good game, honest, ethical, and lead the world, 750 million people actually get exposed to IPL across the world.
also a bunch of good guys playing good cricket together. You always see this enjoyment factor. You don't see them dropping shoulders. Let's go! You can sort of see them egging each other on, willing each other on, wanting success for each other. I think for me that's the ethos of the Rajasthan Royals setup.
तो ये जो एक बॉन्ड है जो हम शेयर करते हैं वो बहुत स्पेशल है. आई थिंक ये और कहीं नहीं मिलेगा आपको देखने.
You got people from all parts of the world, different parts of India as well, and we all come together and we learn a lot about each other. So I think, you know, unity is probably the best way to describe it.
Winning is a very incomplete measure of success. So while that will be one of them, what we'll be looking to do is set up a really happy team environment where people from different cultures, different ages, different languages feel they can be themselves, they can express themselves, an environment that gets the best out of them. We know if we do that, they will have a great experience, and there's a very good chance that that does translate into success.
What I like about the Rajasthan Royals setup is that they look to young talent. You know, we're hearing murmurs about a young Riyan Parag this season. We've seen the likes of Ariman Birla in the past, you know, Lomror as well. They do like to invest in homegrown talent.
I think RR has always been in a stage, or you can say an opportunity giver to new talent people. I think they've always believed in somebody to give new talent a go.
I've played cricket from a very small age. These small achievements that I have, like playing for the Under-19 World Cup and winning it, I think those are baby steps towards the main goal, which is playing for the senior Indian team.
No pride, no show off, nothing, humble to the ground.
You've got to understand that if you want homegrown talent and longevity, you may not produce the immediate results, but the impact, not just for the Rajasthan Royals, but for Team India as well, perhaps, could be a long-term one.
I think I still remember the day of the auction. Almost all the auction was done. To be honest, I had really left hope that I would be picked in this auction. Then I switched off the TV and I just went to bed and I just sat down and I was thinking about the IPL. And then I heard mom screaming that Rajasthan Royals picked you.
Of course, as a mother, she'll always miss her child when he is not here. But I'm very proud of what he has done and what he is doing. I'm also very happy that he's with a lovely bunch of people.
The love of cricket has been there, and I think I'll play cricket till the last breath of me.
Here was a man who was at the top of his game, and suddenly you've been forced to take time away from the game. When you spend 12 months away from the game, be it from injury, be it from a ban, you come back wanting it even more. Because you know you've missed it, you know there's a point to prove, but also become more hungry for success.
Virat Kohli is the best batsman on the planet. Simple as that. But in Test match arena and any other form of the game, Steve Smith's probably second.
Yeah, coming back after a year, it's you know, it's been good to sort of be able to freshen up mentally and come in quite fresh, having not played a lot of cricket. So yeah, I had a good week of training.
So for the Rajasthan Royals to have Steve Smith involved again, being hungry, he's been out of the game for 12 months, so you imagine how excited he's going to be and jumping out of his skin.
When you look at Steve Smith and the ability to lead men, and he's done it so successfully, he's led Australia, he's led them in big tournaments, and he's been there before. And I think that quality is something he'll bring straight back into the RR setup too.
So watch out for Steve Smith, he's going to be hungry for runs.
You know, I don't play the game for personal milestones, I play for team success.
Shots much.
Or in T20 cricket, you have to be ahead of the game. You have to be 2 or 3 overs ahead. And that's why I think Jinx is probably one of the best captains in the IPL.
We all are very happy to have a captain like him, and I feel that having someone like him in the dressing room is a really great opportunity for all the youngsters to go out to him and ask him that how to do the things. I think he's a very great individual. As a person, he's very humble, as a calm. I think he's like someone like a junior Rahul Dravid, I think, as a person. So he carries himself like that, and there is a lot of things to learn about.
The guy who stays coolest under pressure is what's going to give you success. Ajinkya is one of those who can stay calm under pressure. He's a man of few words, but important words. And he sort of handles himself so well that you sort of want to be around Ajinkya and play for Ajinkya.
Captaincy is a different role completely. You have to understand each and every individual. You got to support differently. आपको हर एक को अलग-अलग तरीके से players को अलग-अलग तरीके से आपको देखना होता है, उनको support करना होता है.
Come on, buddy.
And I think I'm fortunate कि राजस्थान रॉयल्स ने मुझे कैप्टनशिप करने का मौका दिया.
हल्ला बोल!
जो टैलेंट फाइंड करते हैं, आई थिंक उनके पास कुछ ना कुछ वो एक थिंक मैजिक है कि एक प्लेयर में वो टैलेंट देखते हैं. उनके अलावा आई थिंक रोमी भिंडर जो हमारे अभी मैनेजर है, आई रिमेंबर कि इनिशियली हमारे लॉजिस्टिक मैनेजर थे, कैसा उनको कितनी मेहनत करनी पड़ती थी, क्योंकि लॉजिस्टिक मैनेजर का काम बहुत मुश्किल होता है.
I handle basically it's everything. मैं 24 लोगों का मैनेजर हूँ, बट ये जो रोल है ये अकेले का नहीं है. इसके पीछे सबसे बड़ी बात है कि मैनेजमेंट ने जो दिया हुआ फ्रीडम है, वो फ्रीडम की सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरत मुझे होती है. प्रैक्टिस पे जा रहे तो कोच मुझे पूछता है कि आज हमें कितने विकेट मिल रहे हैं, हम कौन से ग्राउंड पे खेल रहे हैं, अकेडमी ग्राउंड पे प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं या मेन ओवल पे कर रहे हैं, बॉलर्स नेट बॉलर्स कितने हैं. तो ये सारा जो प्लानिंग अगर कोच कर रहा है तो वो किसे कन्वे करेगा. अगर सब लोगों को देगा तो बहुत कन्फ्यूजन फैल जाएगा. तो वो एक 1 पॉइंट कॉन्टैक्ट मैं हूँ.
Romy is, as usual, he's a fantastic guy.
इसको उधर मारेगा तो उधर जाएगा ना.
You don't get that with too many people, but he has got that knack of having one-on-one relation with everyone.
Only next 42 balls, 42 hits with this ball and give me and use it here only, because otherwise it will get lost.
This season we're looking to even make more and better use of technology than what we have done before, and hopefully even in the cricket world we can take some of the use of technology, which there's a lot of it, there's a lot of data, there's a lot of analytics, and I think the key thing is how do we extract that real 1% value out of the reams and reams of data that technology does provide us.
We have this proposal put out, which is a GPS tracking device which looks after how the player speeds are in terms of running, in terms of their fitness levels, and we propose that to the cricketing team.
My job is to mitigate the risk of injury. Okay, now we'll do 20 metres. The players being our assets, and I need to protect that asset and ensure that that asset is performing for me at all times. Data technology has allowed me to understand that player more intimately, and I think that is critical.
So John was very interested because he does see value in it, how it helps him in his work, and also the fact that it was about time that a cricket team in India adopted.
IPL is a long season, and to remain fit, you have to keep analyzing कि आप कहाँ कौन से दिन पे ज़्यादा आप ट्रेनिंग कर रहे हो, कभी नहीं करना चाहिए. तो that catapult और वो जो टेक्नोलॉजी है, it is helping.
Cricket is about speed, it's about power, it's about agility. It's about the ability to recover. It's about the ability to take yourself up into a zone and then bring yourself down safely to be able to do and repeat that. Everything is data driven. Everything is monitored, so we know when they're fresh, when they're not, when they need to recover, when they can go. It's science, there's no guesswork.
Lovely. 3.85. Unbelievable.
This year, I think the Rajasthan Royals squad that's been put together, I'd be disappointed if the Rajasthan Royals don't win it this year.
Everyone in the team is excited for this first game in our team at the moment.
We play with passion. I think we always play with pride. We've got a lot of integrity with the way we play. And our style of play is exciting to watch. We would rather risk losing to win rather than play safe.
to rise up. Get your hands up. We taking over the game. And if you're looking for change, I suggest you do the same. Come on, y'all, it's time to rise up. Get your hands up. We taking over the game. And if you're looking for change, I suggest you do the same.
I genuinely believe we have a very strong squad. Zubin and the owners, they know exactly there's a strategy to it.
We never know what's going to happen in a format like this.
T20 is a dangerous format and you got to respect your opponent.
As a Royals family, we get more and more prepared, more and more professional, go into more and more levels of details. We've certainly left no stone unturned in our preparation in every respect. In terms of what we're in control of, we're exceptionally happy with where we are at the moment.
The Kings 11 Punjab had never actually beaten the Rajasthan Royals at their fortress in Jaipur. And a lot of us actually didn't expect that to change. You know, given the squad that RR had coming in, given that fortress feel that they've got in Jaipur, we expected them to come out all guns blazing. The one man that did come out all guns blazing though was the Gale Storm. It absolutely rained sixes, he was fantastic to watch. But then when Joss Buttler got going, we actually thought, hang on, this is just going to continue in that trend, and we thought Joss Buttler would just carry them through. It was heading in the perfect direction. They were 100 odd for one, and then suddenly the M word, the Muncut happened. When an event like that happens in the middle of a game, it can spark a sense of emotion. We saw that as well. It was a heated moment in the middle of the game, and what that did was it sparked a royal collapse for the Rajasthan Royals.
It's very hard to say it's morally right or wrong because it's within the laws of the game, and if you want to just interpret it with no emotion or no spirit of the game, you can say, well, that's just how it is.
They didn't quite find a way back from there on. It just, wickets started to tumble at the wrong time, and suddenly the game just fell away from the Rajasthan Royals, and it was a game that they lost from a really good position, a game that they should not have lost.
Obviously, first match tha, hometown mein tha, so it is very disappointing. But after all, it's a game. Win and lose is a part of it.
अच्छा तो नहीं लग रहा है obviously अपने home ground पे आके हारना, and you know राजस्थान का बहुत तगड़ा support था. आज मैंने देखा crowd was very amazing. तो disappointment तो होता ही है.
Second game of the season, you turn over to the Sunrisers Hyderabad, a team that's just efficient.
You've got to get back up. We fight for another day.
Rajasthan Royals moved into their third game, going to the Lions' Den. At one stage in that encounter, actually early on, they thought they had Chennai on the ropes, 27 for 3. And the moment for me that actually changed the game was the ball from Jofra Archer onto MS Dhoni, rolled onto the stumps and didn't pop the bail.
If the bail came off, it probably would have been game over.
It could have changed the context of the game. Chennai could have been flattened right there. But instead, what they got was vintage MS Dhoni.
पूरा ड्रामा हुआ और अचानक से एकदम मैच टर्न हो गया. राजस्थान वाले बहुत ज़्यादा क्लोज मैचेस आ रहे हैं. किस्मत साथ नहीं थी राजस्थान की.
It's not easy when you've lost say back-to-back games. The team morale is down.
Everyone knows you're not going to win every game, but it's what you learn from that game and what you can do better. Some players take the loss harder than others, but at the end of the day, there's 14 games. If you win 8 of them, you know you're guaranteed. If you win 7, have a good run rate, you probably sneak in as well.
There's a few philosophies that we really believe in. Give 100% effort on preparing players as best we can for success on the field.
There is no differences when it comes to victory and losses, especially from the management. They've never put that pressure. Even last year, they've never put that pressure. We're always still smiling at the end of a match. I think that's the biggest tick I would give this team.
As coaches, this is the time where we come into play more than times when everything is going the right way.
These guys are professionals. They want to do well, and when they make a mistake, they feel bad. all you need to do is ask people and you'll hear this answer that they don't need a kick up the butt.
On to game number 4. 3 losses back to back, heading into big pressure, up against the stars. You're up against the likes of Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers.
In the RCB game, it's obviously anyone's dream to be getting these 2 wickets, especially in one match.
This is where Rajasthan showed their might. It was Shreyas Gopal who got the job done, not just against Virat, but against Virat and AB. And it's such a good sight for any cricket fan. For the neutrals as well, to see a good story stitched together. When you look at the batting, it all starts to come together again. Ajinkya Rahane with a 20-odd, he'd obviously like to build on that and stay around for much longer. Josh Buttler looked absolutely brilliant. But what was also good to see, Tripathi seems to be settling in quite nicely.
You fail sometimes, but when you succeed and you follow that process, I think that's the biggest satisfaction which you can get. Hitting that 6, finishing off the match and looking at the dressing room. That's the best feeling in the world.
So there are plenty of positives to take away. Obviously Shreyas Gopal the biggest positive, but the other one being that settled top order that's getting them runs. And maybe it just takes that one win to really spark a streak of wins as well.
My name's Mark Matthews and I'm a professional big wave surfer. I was asked by Paddy Upton to come over and do a talk for the team about my career and about how I deal with stress and fear that I have to face in big wave surfing. I must be either crazy, possibly have some kind of death wish, or a lot of people think that I was actually born with a brain defect that just stops me from feeling fear.
Being an Australian, I felt a close connection to him before he even started talking, and you know, there were times during his presentation where I felt like crying.
When I dove underwater, the wave went over me and I was just about to swim away to safety. The wave and the energy in the wave, it grabbed a hold of me and picked me up and smashed me into the reef.
I mean, I've had 8 stress fractures in my back. I could just see somebody who's been through something similar, but obviously his was life-threatening and mine is not. So I could completely relate to him.
The surgeon who had performed emergency surgery on me the night before, he came in, he said, "You're never going to be able to move your foot again." He was basically telling me that my surfing career was over.
A lot of the lessons that he's trying to teach and pass on are so valuable to us as cricketers, but to us as people as well, and I can't wait to spend a bit of time with him.
Maybe the players will take away something from that, and maybe something in there might help them with the stress and the fear that they face around what they do as cricketers. I came here to do the talk is because the bonus I get to come and watch these guys perform, you know, so it's going to be super exciting. I feel nervous for them. I can't imagine how they feel.
And then back at the Fortress in Jaipur to take on another champion side, KKR. The big blow for Rajasthan was the fact that they could only muster up 139 in 20 overs for the loss of 3 wickets. It was a very convincing, a comprehensive win for KKR, and that's again put a dent to that streak that could have been for the Rajasthan Royals. And you start to think of what they can do to change things around.
Well, Rajasthan Royals की ओर से मैं आपका स्वागत करता हूं जो मैच नंबर 25 आज जो होने वाला है राजस्थान रॉयल्स और चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स के बीच में। क्या आप तैयार हो?
they need an infusion of energy. They need an infusion of some exuberance of youth.
17 years of age and test himself against the best players in the world.
We knew he had the talent. Could he do it?
Very excited on getting to see Rian making his debut in the IPL.
When I went into bat, Stokesy was like, just imagine you're playing gully cricket with a friend.
Pocket size dynamite. He performed exceptionally well.
That 18 of 16 balls, I think that really changed my mindset and mentality.
It's been amazing to see him progress.
I can say it is full पैसा वसूल match. शुरू से लेके end तक. मतलब एक टाइम कांटे की टक्कर कैन से. इतना interesting match मैं पहली बार देख रहा हूँ.
The ball which I bowled to Shane Watson, that was one of the best balls I've bowled.
We have all the weapons in our armory to combat whatever wicket we are playing on.
Sir, all over मजा था. 19वें ओवर तक पूरा अच्छा मजा था. राजस्थान एक तरफा जीत रही थी, मजा आ रहा था. बट 19वें ओवर में जो घटा है, मजा नहीं आया बिल्कुल भी.
We saw MS Dhoni absolutely lose his cool, make his way out to the middle.
Him walking out onto the field is probably not the right thing to do.
Captain Cool losing his cool.
The emotion was riding high, the momentum, the adrenaline was with CSK, and we saw an absolutely insane passage of play from Ravindra Jadeja and Mitchell Santner to just take them over the line.
It was like highest of highs and then the lowest of lows, all combined into one. So it's shattering to watch it end like that, but at the same time, it's amazing.
The impact of travel is quite significant because I've always said that a travel day is not a rest day. So we can't consider a travel day as a rest day for the players because it's quite traumatic, especially if you play the night before.
Sometimes you're playing matches which are ending late into the night, you're traveling the next day, getting to the next location. Your sleep patterns change. It tests you physically as well. And when it starts testing you physically, everything can take a toll on a player's body and performance.
8 weeks of IPL and the 14 games and the number of flights and late nights that we have, the levels of physical energy will drop off for players. It's a felt reality. We haven't been able to measure it.
तो ओवरऑल अगर मैं बताऊं तो आपको ट्रांसपोर्ट है, आपका एयरपोर्ट अराइवल है, आपका डिपार्चर है, आपका होटल चेक इन है, चेकआउट है, आपका मैच डे का प्रिपरेशन करना है, आपको प्रैक्टिस डे पे प्रिपरेशन करना है, बहुत सारे काम हैं.
Following particular physical exertions, we need a 48 to 72-hour window for complete recovery, especially from a muscle perspective. And therefore, anything that impacts on recovery detrimentally impacts on the preparation for the next match. So travel, for me, is a very big factor that we need to consider before the season.
You've got to wonder when those stars will align, when the entire 100% will come together, because they're playing 90% of terrific cricket, RR. It's just that final 10% that's falling away from them.
If our team plays 70 to 80% of our potential, I think we can defeat any team in the tournament. So I think we are excited and happy about the match coming up.
हर टीम बहुत कॉम्पिटिटिव है, हर गेम बहुत कॉम्पिटिटिव है और मुझे लगता है कि हम लोग बहुत अच्छा क्रिकेट खेलें. एंड IPL तो ऐसी चीज़ है कि यहाँ कुछ भी हो सकता है.
RR versus the Mumbai Indians at the Wankhede Stadium. This time around, they saw it through. That final 10% that we often spoke about that needed to be executed, that needed to be completed, did come complete. When RR came out to bat, they looked mighty good. Josh Butler for me is perhaps one of the most combative, destructive batsmen in the game.
When he lofted the first ball for 6, nobody would have thought it would go for 6, but it was so beautifully timed.
Josh Butler just took the game by the scruff of the neck, wanted the game. And you could see this intent with every player of the RR setup. A big win versus the Mumbai Indians in Mumbai. And maybe maybe that is the trigger that RR needed to get back to winning ways. On to the next game, big grudge match, revenge match after what happened in the previous encounter between the Kings 11 and Rajasthan Royals. This time around, it was more smooth sailing for the Kings 11 Punjab. And after that win versus the Mumbai Indians, it wasn't the best sighting for the Rajasthan Royals. They would have loved to continue that winning momentum. But it doesn't seem to be coming together.
You look at most of the games, they actually end up finishing in the last over. So if you lose key moments in a game, then you end up losing. And
we need to cut off the emotions and then move on to the next game.
Paddy's got some interesting theories and exercises that he brings to the group. You know, he does a lot of work in the mental health space.
One of the things everyone will say in cricket is that the mental side of the game is one of the most important aspects. Something like 80 to 95% of the errors that we make in a cricket field are our own errors. Specifically, it's how a player deals with that high pressure moment when it comes along. With the optimal amount of focus, stuff tends to work and we don't end up making these mistakes.
They've been really good so far. It's different to sort of what I've experienced previously, and you know, you always like trying new things and just trying to get better.
So the approach I use is I'm also coaching players to make their own decisions for themselves because I'm relying on them on the field to make a smart decision. That thinking about winning or about failing doesn't serve us. We need to recognize when that's happening and just come back into our minds, and our gut and our instinct is in tune. We're in flow of the game.
Every team is now looking to nurture young talent and invest in them, but Rajasthan Royals has been doing this since the first season of IPL.
The number of players who were given their IPL debut by us is, I think, greater than any other franchise. There's nothing quite like unearthing a gem. That's what we'll always stay true to.
हमारी एक टैगलाइन भी है, we don't buy stars, we make stars.
We're delighted to partner with Red Bull for Red Bull Campus Cricket. This year's even bigger with 350 colleges taking part. So we saw it as a perfect scouting ground to look forward and develop talent for the future.
It's all about giving wings to a varsity level cricket, and I just hope that with this partnership it'll just get to a next level.
You know, I might be completely wrong here, but obviously it's not all about the here and now. It's about, you know, what's down the line and building something for the future, and I think that's brilliant.
Red Bull Campus Cricket is the only global cricket tournament especially developed for university students. For the first time, we've got the introduction of an IPL side, an IPL franchise backing Red Bull Campus Cricket. So a big round of applause for the Rajasthan Royals, who will be scouting talent and giving them a trial.
Shortlisting to 8 teams here and the best in India. A lot of players in our team who've not played white ball cricket, and obviously the final is under lights. So it's really a good opportunity.
काफ़ी अच्छा टूर्नामेंट था रेड बुल ने जो मतलब ये करा है, तो अच्छा लग रहा है काफ़ी। हम फाइनल जीते और फाइनल तक आए, तो काफ़ी अच्छा टूर्नामेंट था। मेरा अब तक का बेस्ट टूर्नामेंट है।
You know, when you say Red Bull, you think of something wild, and when you say something Royals, you think of something serene. So I just thought that we are taming the bull, and we are the Royal Bull. So this Royal Bull partnership is something that we really look forward to. We'll give them dignity while they give us the spirit to fight.
I suppose when you're watching games of cricket at home, the only things you see is the 11 on the field. And I think if you look at that solely, you don't actually understand the full picture of what goes on in a team environment to be able to play the way that they do out in the middle. I think a lot of the, I guess, credit should go down to the management and the support staff. You know, it's a round-the-clock job, 24 hours a day. It's pretty amazing to be a part of.
This stadium in Jaipur seats about 24,500 people.
The work to get the stadium up and running is about a month-long work. There's a direct team of about 60-70 people working tirelessly on this.
My responsibility is the entire delivery of the stadium so that you can host every IPL game that's played here. We have different areas. You have hospitality, you have parking, you have security.
We need to take these gates out.
Overall general oversight of all those departments.
My name is Cindy Emmanuel McLean. I'm here as a stadium operations manager responsible especially for hospitality. We create a VIP experience for our hospitality guests, both invited guests and people who pay premium prices for tickets to see the Rajasthan Royals in action. Did you finish the numbering?
Yeah. We as marketing ensure that there's a lot of branding that goes around the stadium. And believe it or not, there's about 1 lakh square feet of branding that goes in.
I work for Rajasthan Royals. I handle the sponsorship and alliances for them. Right now, I'm also taking care of anti-ambush. So that involves taking care of our sponsors who have paid us so much money and making sure they get the visibility and no other brand can misuse this space, the stadium that we have. We have bouncers and the police of Rajasthan and we work closely together with them.
Prior to D-Day, the police takes over the complete stadium. Anti-sabotage check is done by the police. Apart from that, we've got about 1,400 police personals, their QRTs, their senior officials, their bomb disposable squads, their sniffer dogs. Everyone is in place.
At no point in time, a fan should realize that any of this is happening. That's the beauty and that's the challenge that we work under.
The management and owners have decided to make a change. They spoke to me today and said that they wanted me to take over the franchise.
This time the pressure was on the captain this time around. A new captain, a different captain, but a captain that loves to lead a side. Stephen Smith. And for me, that was the best move that the Rajasthan Royals could have made.
Obviously the decision got made for the benefit of the team.
Smith took over at a point where we had to win every single game.
The burden of captaincy was weighing on Ajinkya's shoulders and was affecting his batting, whereas Steve as an individual likes to take on some kind of burden. So we actually felt that this could be a really good time to switch.
बाहर देखने में लगती है कि कैप्टनसी मतलब क्या है 11 में से तो वो भी एक हिस्सा है अगर अजिंक्य रहाणे या स्टीव स्मिथ या कोई संजू सैमसन हो जाए कैप्टन या जॉस बटलर हो जाए तो उससे फर्क क्या पड़ना टीम तो सेम खेल रही है
By default, the will to win, we just had to amp it up 2 notches.
मैंने हमेशा से वो रिस्पेक्ट किया है मैनेजमेंट का डिसीजन I took that in a positive way and as I said play with passion and I think it's all about having that good attitude on the field and I think keep enjoying my batting.
The results are there to be seen where Ajinkya took off and batted beautifully and so did Steve.
स्मिथ का जो डिसीजन है वहाँ पे ऑन द स्पॉट डिसीजन लेना पड़ता है और वो उन्होंने आज साबित कर दिया.
It was a game that was very important because it gave this side confidence. They've done the double now on the Mumbai Indians. And when you've done the double on them, you know you've got character within the team. You know you've got talent and individual brilliance. And a good sign for the Rajasthan Royals was the fact that it came together again.
If it's a team full of family members, then you sort of have a little bit more feeling for that. You want to do even better for your family than you want to do for just a team. And I think that's what differentiates the Royals from pretty much any other team.
One of the roles which isn't defined is to keep the family feel of the Royals.
ये सिर्फ एक टैग नहीं है, ये रियल में एक फैमिली है.
Thank you.
I want to thank you, Rajasthan Royals, for the opportunity. Really enjoy, getting to know these fantastic human beings. This is Jake Lashmakram. He is general manager and part-time giraffe of the team. He creates an animal-like environment. And this one, Yagi Bhai. Shut up, giraffe. This is a fielding coach, and AK also known as fielder coach. And he has one phrase and one phrase only: catches win the matches.
Oh, no! It's a great culture. It's about togetherness, and I guess the royal family hashtag, I guess, really signifies that as well.
आप सुबह उठ रहे हो, नाश्ते में आप क्या खाओगे ये मुझे फिजियो से जान के शेफ से बात करनी है.
I think nutrition underpins not just every athlete, but everybody's daily life, or should. And there's probably two words I use when we talk about nutrition for anybody, but particularly athletes, is real food.
डिफ़िकल्ट है कई बार आपका मन बोलता है कि नहीं लेट्स हैव चॉकलेट शेक बट यू हैव टू restrict yourself.
I love chocolate.
It's very important with these kind of high performance events to be very strict and very particular about your diet, because what you eat also makes a difference as to how you recover and how you perform.
If I'm prescribing diets for these players that don't correlate with their blood markers, then I am running the risk of injuring them long term as well.
John Gloucester is our physio at Rajasthan, who's been instrumental in my diet and helped me out, learn a lot about my body over the past couple of years, and I probably owe a lot to him for the gains that I've made in the fitness side of things.
It allows me then to have a conversation with that player at another level, and they then genuinely see that you are concerned about them as an individual, not just as a performance athlete.
The Delhi boys were next in town. After that win versus the Mumbai Indians, they could kick on from them, find a way to stitch 2 wins together, because that really could catapult the team going forward in this league as well.
Competitive रहेगा आज, दोनों ही मतलब टॉप पे आने के लिए दोनों को एक गेम जीतना जरूरी है.
You talked about the captaincy release on Ajinkya Rahane. You talked about the captaincy being shifted over to Steven Smith, and it suited both these men perfectly. We saw this freedom with Ajinkya Rahane.
After he laid back his captainship, he played really well.
Maybe the captaincy factor was not there, and he was only going to do his batting. But one side they had a good knock from Ajinkya Rahane coming in.
Glorious clean hitting from Rahane. 100 of 60 odd deliveries, which was terrific to watch. It was a total that they thought they should have had the game.
Still, the fortunes didn't really change because Delhi Capitals ended up on the winning side.
All the supporters of Rajasthan Royals, they kept their spirits high throughout the game. It's just that we were short of like 10 to 15 runs in the end. जीतता वही है जो better खेलता है. दिल्ली का ये था तो दिल्ली जीत गया.
A win versus the Mumbai Indians, a loss versus DC means restart, reset, and find that winning momentum again.
When your team is losing some matches or some close encounters, you feel that no, you can go and just like smash that boundary or take that good catch or bowl a good over for your team.
So the reality is, in any IPL season, in a squad, for example, of 25 players, maybe 14, 15, 16 of those players will get to play, and the rest are not going to. They're going to sit on the bench for the entire season.
It's the first time, I think, in my career that I have found it really frustrating.
I had a word with the coach also, like Paddy sir was there, Zubin sir was also there that time. So I had a word with them, so they just told me that I have to be calm.
I will coach those players. So even if a player doesn't play, 2 months of IPL, you learn more than 2 months playing for your national team, 2 months at a World Cup.
The good thing was that I was practicing. I was getting the experiences of the legends of the Indian cricket.
And the only thing that they really need to do to extract the value of that is just come with the right attitude of learning, drawing for themselves, and when they've got as much as they can for themselves, then to look around and say, right, who else can I help? What can I do to add value to somebody else in my team or somebody else's game?
I think I'm going to have to grow as a cricketer, because this won't be the last time I'm on the bench in my career. I'm sure there'll be some extended periods that I'm on the bench again.
As a result of the World Cup soon after the IPL, we will be losing some players. So we'll be going into the playoffs towards the end of the tournament without some of our regular players, and also some of them will be the senior players. Obviously, we're a bit disappointed to be leaving, but we have to go and get ready for the World Cup. But I don't think there's going to be an issue with replacing when we go, because as I said, the depth and talent that this squad have got is brilliant.
11th game of Rajasthan Royals against Kolkata was in Kolkata.
That game onwards, we had to win almost every game.
We know that this is the team, despite a lot of players who have left, is still a match-winning team.
They had lost to Kolkata earlier.
Yeah, it's disappointing that we started the season so poorly and that we're playing catch-up now, but any slither of hope is something that we're going to grab onto.
Talking about key moments, this was again another key moment. Riyan Parag again making his presence felt, good bowling combinations coming through, and them winning that game. Like Chennai or like Mumbai, it's not easy winning in Kolkata. And that's where we felt that, somewhere Rajasthan Royals is peaking and coming back into their zone of being not being underachievers, but being an achievers team. Although it was very late coming into the tournament,
The destiny is in our own hands, then we're really confident that the brand of cricket we're playing at the moment is exciting and it's winning us games of cricket.
I played for lots of different teams all over the world and stuff like that, but there's always two teams that are, they were very dear to me, which is my country, England, and my club, Durham, who I played for since I was a kid. And the experience I had here, knowing it was my last game and watching the end of that game, I've never been so stressed in my life. And this is now a third team that I've added onto something that I hold very dear to my heart, and that I'm not just turning up and playing for.
and that confidence they carried when they came back. And when they came back, that was the 12th game against Sunrisers Hyderabad.
We're in a winning mode right now. I took a catch on the boundary and it actually gave us some much needed fight back in that game. Obviously you need a little bit of luck. Obviously a few things need to go in your favor. But as a unit, as a team, as a culture, I think we're going in the right direction.
When the 12th or the 11th game, when you start giving a confidence to your own self, to your own dressing room, that you're coming back into the ranks, it can be slightly difficult.
I think, if you guys don't have fun while we go along, there's just no point, Winning, losing, that's all part of life. But I can tell you this thing, that to say that you want to have fun and always be happy is what we really stand for.
5 seconds बाद we can change your expression.
We have a lot of characters in the team and we have a lot of fun out of the ground as well. I think those are the times where the team really comes up and gels together.
I found out that O'Shane Thomas hunts crocodiles yesterday.
But he can do that, right?
Yeah,
the way he's a big man.
He just grabs them.
What are you talking about? Some random, some stupid stuff which I cannot also understand.
Why not?
Because it's really stupid.
How stupid is it?
No, it's just fun,
Parvani Kani. Shabash. Are we ready? Yep.
संजू सैमसन जैसे अभी दिख रहे हैं वैसे दिखेंगे
ये दाढ़ी थोड़ी कट गई तो फिर Ish, being a rapper, he has always been that initiator whenever we have a team get together.
छक्के गनी बाजी मार दे पूरा एफर्ट के साथ भी मीडियम पेस डाल दे
Game number 13, they were playing in Bangalore. When you're playing in Bangalore, everybody feels that, you know, they've obviously got a good chance. It's a very good wicket to bat on.
It feels great to come back to Bangalore always. I've played a lot of cricket here. It's one of those grounds where you can get a lot of wickets as a bowler if you put in the right areas, because there is bounce and a little movement of the wicket. Looking forward to exploiting that and getting us a win.
Somewhere down the line where they were just getting into their elements and probably just may make it to the playoffs. But the weather gods, it does happen, you know, one team does get into that phase where a crucial game can get washed off in Bangalore or anywhere else. It can happen, and it happened with Rajasthan.
It was frustrating, but the rain, it was beautiful to watch the rain come down, I think. So we were enjoying the rain, and then 5 overs match, I think we should play often 5 over matches in IPL. It was a very fun thing to do, and it was a completely different thing to do. I think I've never played a 5 over game, so it was exciting, but at the same time it was a bit disappointing.
Certainly the luck factor, you know, it is so crucial and people ignore it, but you know, it is just bypassed sometimes. But the luck factor is so very crucial in T20 cricket.
You can't sit and complain and point the fingers at anyone or anything. And if you get yourself into a situation where your season can be affected so dramatically by one game, then you probably haven't done enough things right throughout the whole tournament.
Match so much crucial, I think it must have affected a lot of people here.
It's down to our own performances that we have put ourselves in this position, and we've got to take it with generosity.
We're in this position because of what we've done in our performance. Now we've got to deal with the consequences of not going through or celebrate going through.
Game number 14, Delhi Capitals, I remember it was a very low scoring affair, but because the total was too low, it was very difficult for them to go out there and contain. And for Rajasthan, the similar story continued, not making it to the playoffs.
In reality and in life, one needs to look in the mirror and have courage and maturity to say, how am I responsible for this? And not to beat ourselves up about it, but to take the learning. So next time I'm in this situation, what is the lesson and what would I do differently?
At the end of the day, we are in this place because we've not won enough. I feel all of us have a lot of pride in the way we play cricket.
That's why we are professionals, you know, we just forget that and get over it.
We absolutely know for a fact that the side that we're putting out is a top table side. There is no question about that. And hence, we take the responsibility for the underperformance. All the staff take the responsibility for underperformance.
When you go back and say that you made it to the playoffs one season, next season you were almost 7th, you know, it becomes difficult for the management also to identify as to what's wrong.
So there's no point talking about a bail not falling or a decision not going your way or the rain coming. It's pointless. We know that we've underperformed given the kind of 11s that we were setting out and sending out onto the park. Absolute quality.
I think it's hard for a team when we were out for 2 years and come back and then you form another team. So it's very hard to get things all right, but I am very confident that we'll be getting up soon.
I would like each of you in this room to remember this as we prepare for next season. That feeling of hollowness, that feeling in that bus when you're coming back and we haven't won, we've let people down. We know that.
It's about not having the right players, or it's about not clicking as a team, or it's about not getting enough, you know, backing in whichever manner for the team. So it becomes difficult even for the management to think through as to what more can we do.
थोड़ा सा स्ट्रिक्ट होना पड़ेगा, थोड़ा सा परफॉर्मेंस ओरिएंटेड होना पड़ेगा. ये हमारे लाइक इस साल मुझे लगता है कि सीखने वाले पॉइंट है.
Results will come and results will go, and you get 100 people who love you, and the next week you get 0 and they will criticize you.
But what doesn't change throughout your career until the day that you die is the character.
कुछ पॉइंट्स अगर हमने थोड़े से जो होता है ना एक आपने इग्निशन पॉइंट होते हैं हमारे लिए, वो इग्निशन पॉइंट अगर हमने प्रॉपरली अगले साल हमने थोड़ा किया तो मुझे लगता है कि ये जो थोड़ा सा हम 1-2 पॉइंट का जो फ़र्क चल रहा है वो हम आसानी से दूर कर पाएंगे.
We had certain failings along the way. If I sort of look at it personally, I talked a lot about sort of being in a certain state of mind and a certain frame of mind, and I myself wasn't. So I'll start with my own failure. You don't actually rise to the occasion. You go down to the level of your training, and that's something that I didn't do. My instinct should have been to go back to my training and what gives me my strength and what my strengths are, rather than constantly thinking of rising to something that doesn't exist. There's just literally nothing that anybody could say that from a preparatory perspective was missing for the team, including your support. But we're ticking a lot of boxes, and we're very confident that we're very much on the right path as far as the team is concerned. Future does look bright. We're a very young team.
Our strategy next year is to win, so I know it's difficult, but how do we make it possible? What do you need to make it possible? Because our job is to support you.
It's like talent in terms of, we have to produce another Riyan Parag, we have to find another.
So
Riyan
can we
Parag.
do that? Can that be one of the lists?
Absolutely. We know, we are very clear that there are people coming through that we want to target.
कोर्स ऑफ स्पार्क एक नेशन वाइड टैलेंट हंट है, जहाँ पे जिन बच्चों को लगता है कि हमें टैलेंट है बट हमको प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं मिल रहा है, तो दैट इज़ अ प्लेटफॉर्म फॉर यंगस्टर्स, नॉट ओनली फॉर बॉयज़ बट द गर्ल्स, टू कन्वर्ट देयर ड्रीम इनटू रियलिटी.
Scouting talent is a very nice initiative, and I think a lot of franchisees have taken up that. When you scout talent, not only for your team, but you also scout it for your academies, I think that's an initiative which I probably can say that Rajasthan Royals has taken a bigger step than other franchises. At least it's widely known.
Your batters to go there, don't leave.
There is where we formed two pools, the Royal Colts, which is a pool of boys, and Royal Sparks, which is the pool of girls. So we have about 69 kids in total. So they all were divided into 4 batches, and they went on to get trained. So they were given mental training, physical training, plus looking at the tournaments where the boys can participate, because there are already so many tournaments for the boys, but our objective is that the girls should get equal mileage. So we are trying to create tournaments ourselves so that the girls can also go out and compete.
ये बहुत अच्छी चीज़ है, जिससे हम लोग को और अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ मिलेंगी, जैसे फिटनेस कैंप्स और सब मिलेंगे, जिससे और इम्प्रूव होगा गर्ल्स का गेम भी.
What differentiates us is the ability to take that unknown talent into the best player that they can be, or convert that into performance straight away in that very season. I think that is the real differentiator, and that's where we've really made a difference over the last 12 years.
So we're on that cusp, we're sort of on that cusp, and when that corner turns, I think we'll see that this team will be the team of the future.
जो बात सबसे अच्छी लगती है वो है कि ये लोग ब्रांडेड प्लेयर खरीदते नहीं है, ये अपना ब्रांड खुद बनाते हैं.
Quite happy with what we have. We're very minor tweaks required to get to where we finally want to get to. I don't think it's a situation for major change. It's not the cycle. We're only in the second year of the cycle. If we're looking for major change, you do it in 2021 or whatever, in the major cycle, that in the big auction, this is where you can adjust and adapt and have maneuverability. But at this stage, this is not a cycle in which you go in for anything drastic. You look at just 1 or 2 things that can really enhance your side. Like we said, we need a quality spinner, possibly look at a left-hand option. Just 2 or 3 tiny little things is where we're looking at. All our focus will be in that area.
You need more solidity in terms of getting more breakthroughs. So whether they throw in another wrist spinner.
If you look here, some of these graphs will tell you exactly. If you look at these middle overs here, you know, basically we just didn't have another bowler.
Or they get in a good all-rounder who can contribute with the bat and the ball and provide that extra cushion.
So they have three spinners bowling through this phase of the game, which is the middle of the game, and keeping it so tight. And we had just Gopal and we were at 8.4. So that difference in the middle of the game is basically what cost you the game. Yeah.
That's something that the management will have to think through.
Like Gopal, who bowls 4 overs every game, we need another spinner who's going to bowl 4 overs every single game.
We don't have to sort of sit back and try and scratch our heads and think, what does this team stand for? We already know. It's a team that just keeps coming back from anywhere. And so our actual motto is find a way to win from anywhere. That's the motto of the team.
Well, there's sort of one word that can describe all the franchises as a brand. There's many that can sum up the Rajasthan Royals, but I think the Mavericks is a very good one because we're unique. Integrity is another word that I think we use well. Exciting.
Rajasthan Royals.
Because I think the young talent we have, that's why everyone likes the Rajasthan Royals, because of the young talent. And we play a brand of cricket that's exciting.
Yes, there's a lot of work to be done, but it's all new stuff, it's all really exciting stuff, so I can't wait for the summer ahead, can't wait for next season, 3rd year of the cycle, and we're going to win the IPL.